Hi, this is Boris Vallejo, and you are listening to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ian Taylor, and welcome to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast, brought to you by the Marvel Cards Fan Collective, an awesome community of card collectors and creators. You can find our two groups on Facebook, details of which are at the end of this podcast, so come check us out. With me is my co-pilot in all things Marvel cards, the bountiful and gracious Norrin Rad.
Hey, everybody.
And we're in. As ever, we've tried to start this podcast a number of times, and we're having so much fun that it takes a little bit of time for us to get off the ground.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, just a tiny bit. Also helps that it's Friday evening here in the UK, and I have a nice big glass of Montepulciano. So, cheers, Norrin. Not sure
Cheers.
what time it is where you are, but it's always after
It's
5 o'clock somewhere.
it's absolutely.
Exactly. So we were actually going to record a couple of hours ago. What happened?
Got me. Somebody was late. What a jerk. I don't know who that guy was. Someone was watching. I don't remember what I was watching. I dozed off because I had a horrible earache, only to find out an hour later that I missed our standing appointment podcasting time.
Never mind. I love you dearly, but you're such an old woman. You had a nanny nap in the middle of the
I
day.
napped on the couch during a movie. I think it was an action. I don't even know what I was watching. It was something on Netflix that auto played, and I was like, all right, sure. And I knocked out. I don't remember what it was.
Netflix will do that for you. Netflix is NyQuil for many. So yeah, that clearly works.
NyQuil for. I might have actually been watching IT Crowd. I think that's what I was watching. Yeah. Yeah. I love IT Crowd. Yeah.
So before we get on to what I want to talk about this week, what are you hunting for this week? Because you were posting earlier on. I thought it'd be quite a nice idea to talk about that because I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah, you're talking about the sell sheet?
I am.
Yeah. So, okay. So two things I was looking for, and I'll let you guys know because this won't come out for a couple of weeks now or a week. I don't know.
Yeah. We should be a couple of weeks.
Gives me time to hunt for this without you guys trying to buy it first.
Hey, listen, we can always edit.
No. I'm just joking around. So there's two things. One, the sell sheet you saw, which was from Marvel Universe 1994. Basically, I'm trying to get all the promotional material that featured any kind of Silver Surfer card.
Makes sense.
So if there's a purchase,
collector.
Yeah. So I'm only missing two pieces, and that's this one, the Marvel Universe 1994. All the other ones, I'm pretty sure I'm not missing anything else other than that. And the thing I did have once before, which I sold, which I regret, is the 1996 Marvel Masterpiece sell sheet.
Oh.
I know. I had it. I should not have sold it, but I was trying to hunt for, I think, 2016 Marvel Masterpiece Surfers, and I needed an extra $100 buff in order to buy something. So no regrets there. But, and now the second thing I'm really hunting for, which I'm thinking about, I don't know if I'm going to do it, is the 1996 Marvel Masterpiece set. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I don't know. I've always wanted to go in full ham on one set, just one, and it might be the 96 Marvel Masterpiece. I don't know. I know it's impossible. I know they're ridiculously hard to get, but gives me something to have in the meanwhile while I'm hunting for Surfer. I don't know.
Yeah. I think I'm about 2/3 of the way through that set.
That's awesome.
But I've literally not touched it for 5 years plus. I've not.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I've kind of been focusing on other things, so it's kind of there, and every now and then I look at it, mainly for the photographs that I take for the daily masterpieces on the group and on Instagram.
Awesome.
And I'm kind of looking for it. I'm thinking, how many cards do I need? Maybe 25, 30. It's not a big set.
No, there's
100 base, and yeah, it was 100 base, I think, because that's 99 on the checklist.
The sell sheet is, I don't know if the sell sheet, because I scanned it, and we have that in our group. So if you guys want a nice, really big image of that sell sheet, we have that somewhere in the group in one of the posts or somewhere. I did that before I sold it because I didn't know if I'd ever see it again.
I have to say, if I'd known you were selling it, I'd have probably bought it.
I'm an
because
idiot.
I've not seen one before or since.
Four people hit me up immediately when I mentioned it, just casually. Wow. 4 people jumped on it, and at one point I wasn't, and then I couldn't sell it because someone had given it to me, and then they didn't care. I sent it back to the person, and they were like, "No, sell it for me," and it just became such a mess. And whatever. It ended up being its own thing. So the sell sheet I'm looking at, you have 54 base. Legacy adds all the way up, gets it all the way to 72. 84, and then Genesis adds it all the way to 100, and the 100's the checklist. So right. And then the gallery pieces are 8.
6 of those.
Well, the double
impact is 6.
Double impact, there's 6. Right. So the sell sheet's actually incorrect. Yeah. The sell sheet that I had was incorrect. It doesn't even have Surfer as the double exposed. So that's pretty interesting.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It does show that there were 9 paintings that were redeemable. 9 of them. And it was Beast, Elektra, Gambit, Human Torch, Surfer. And I found out that Surfer wasn't Julie's Surfer. It was Boris the Surfer, the double impact. I found that out. I have it somewhere. I figured out how I did that. Spider-Man, Storm, Venom, and Wolverine, if those are still the ones. So, and I think the number was 1 out of 60,000 packs.
Oh,
I know, that kills me.
It's just, I mean, they're kind of a bit of a an urban legend.
They're definitely the unicorn set. It's definitely the unicorn. It's like, this is the big thing.
So I've not even seen. I'm assuming it's a redemption card.
Okay, I think Armand was telling me. Maybe it was Armand. I don't know. He'll remind me. I think it was a black card, he said, or a black border card. He said he saw one on eBay at one point, a long time ago. And there was someone was selling it, and people lost their 2 cents trying to get it. But I think he said it was black or black bordered, something like that. Kind of like the packs. You know how the packs have that gold M, that beautiful gold outline of an M? Yeah. So I think that's what it looks like. I've never seen it.
Okay. So Marvel Universe 94, is that? So that's Series 5?
Should be.
Which is the last of, I think, of that 90s run of Marvel Universe.
Yeah, I actually looked it up because, I have the full master for the Surfer. I have all the Surfer renditions from that set, even the 3 variations of the holograms. The red, blue, green. They say there's orange and teal and gold or whatever as a variation. I've seen them. I don't know. That's just seeing colors and colors. I don't know. How much, you know what I mean? How many of those holograms can you have? I do have an error one as well, or a misprint one, whatever it's called. But those holograms were my favorite as a kid. And someone made that post, I think, who's from the Indonesia group. And they're a fantastic group of people. But they made a post and they were showing off the holograms, and I was just like reminiscing. I actually want to ask you, Ian, because I feel like I hope we haven't talked about this already.
Go on.
Did they make a figure to do those hologram cards? Is that
we were talking about on
we
that
said
post,
something. Yeah.
Well, on that post, I remember enough people commented, and this is a post on MCCW for those not either in the group or on Facebook. So for those not on Facebook, we can be your avatars and tell you
yeah, and give you a little open the window so you can see inside.
Exactly. This is what you could be experiencing. If you give a multinational corporation access to every single bit of data about you.
You can just be under a fake persona like me, and then put your voice everywhere. Make it really easy for people to find you.
Wow, that went deep. Anyway, it's been a long week. It's Friday night.
Sorry,
Enough people commented on the post and said good things about holograms, and saying how much they miss them, and how the sets that come out now, including the one we're going to talk about in a minute,
Ooh.
have what's called holoblast. But make no mistake, they're not holograms at all. They might be a little bit holographic. Marvel Beginnings had some cards, I think they were called Hollow Motion or something like that. And effectively, it's a type of shininess,
Mhm.
but it's not a hologram. It's not a hologram in the way that the 90s cards did it, with complete shine, real depth to it as you turned it in the light,
Real
and it
depth,
really
because those
really
94s,
rich
really
text
rich, beautiful. Yeah.
3D image. Um, because of that, someone commented, "Hey, we said we were going to do an episode on holograms. Maybe this is it."
Oh, sorry.
Because without actually seeing them,
Yeah.
how much can you say about them? From and I don't know. So this is one of those things where I really do want to track down some of the people who are involved in the production of these sets, because
Me too.
I think, long way of answering it, that you're correct in that they do build something, and it's photographed or something in a certain way, because if if they made holograms on the modern cardstock with modern techniques, can you imagine how much, I mean, the 90s ones were incredible, and they're 25 years old.
I
So
mean,
imagine how
yeah,
incredible they could be now.
I couldn't
Um,
imagine. Like, honestly, I couldn't imagine. I don't know why. Maybe it's because they'd be so unique. I mean, it had to be cheaper to do it. I mean, why would they put that in a cheaper
but
90s set?
that's it. I don't know if it was.
I
I genuinely
wonder.
don't know
Yeah,
if it was,
me either.
because if you think about when they kind of stopped. 94 was May, and I might be wrong here because I, I really don't know much about what the all of the sets that holograms were in. The beautiful
Well,
thing about this hobby is that you're kind of still learning. But I
yeah,
don't remember any sets after 94 having holograms in the same way.
not in the same.
I
I've
might
never
be wrong.
seen, and I could be wrong. This is my limited perspective on the hobby, because I'm only coming in from the surfer, so sometimes I don't catch everything.
Mm,
But I've never seen holograms done in quite the same way as 94.
yeah,
Like those four cards, I think it's Spider-Man, Surfer, Venom, and Wolverine. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's four of them.
I'm still on 92.
Yeah,
Well,
Marvel Universe 1994. I've
yeah.
never seen holograms like that ever again, ever done. Not like that. I saw the ones in the Spider-Man set where you have Spider-Man and then you see uh, a, 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 a villain in the background, and it's
Mm,
like silver. It has that silver
yeah,
frosting on
yeah,
it.
yeah,
But I've never seen what we saw in Marvel Universe
yeah,
94.
yeah. And
And
I
yeah,
tell you the ones I really like, although they're not cards. Do you remember in the 90s there was the 30th anniversary of Spider-Man, and you had 4 issues of the Spider-Man series at the time. It was Amazing Spider-Man 365. It was Web of Spider-Man 25, I want to say. I think it was Spec Spider-Man 90,
hmm,
and I can't remember what issue of Spider-Man, the one that Todd McFarlane started. But anyway, each of the issues had a hologram on the front cover, but it wasn't the whole cover. It was just a section in the middle. So it wasn't much bigger than card size. And they were produced in the same way because they were
wow.
incredibly deep. They were beautiful, beautiful.
Were the X-Men one the same thing? Remember the X-Men comic books that had the Magneto taking the adamantium from Wolverine? There was a
Um,
hologram on the right side of it.
yeah. Is that the Flanks Covenant storyline? I'm tempted to say. I've got them over there, but as ever, if I walk away, then I've
Right,
pulled the
yeah.
headphones out. So I'll have to go and
Yeah.
get
I mean,
them.
those are iconic 90s. So anyone
Yeah,
who's listening, you guys, I'm sure you have a picture in your head. Like
yeah,
those remind me of the same type of
mm,
style as a
mm,
94. I mean, well,
exactly.
the 1990 Marvel Universe binder has that Spider-Man
Yes,
hologram on it,
yes,
which is
yes.
really pretty. Not the
Really
same
wonderful.
type, but those were the first holograms ever introduced into Marvel
Yeah,
cards, I
yeah,
think, 1990.
yeah. And
Yeah,
even the
yeah,
1990 ones were extraordinary.
very beautiful.
But
Not didn't have the depth, but they were just as gorgeous. Yeah,
exactly. In the space of 5 years, how how good did they get?
that's insane. Yeah,
Which kind of makes me wonder. I have to believe that they're more expensive to produce in terms of the in terms of the pre-production, if you like. I can't believe it's a printing thing. I have to think that maybe they did build something, as a physical model in the same way that before CGI, they used to actually build the Starship Enterprise and film it 6 ways and merge those shots, to
So
get
cool.
those beautiful graphics.
Yeah.
That's what they did in the original Star Wars movies
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. Anything with miniatures. I've always wondered about that because if you look at the holograms, like I look at the Silver Surfer one and his bottom teeth, I mean, they feel solid. Like when you look at his mouth, he's like yelling in that pose. And the teeth have like spaces in between them. They look very much like it came off a toy or a mold. Like
Wow.
it's that specific. I don't know. It might be the illusion of the hologram, maybe. Maybe that is someone's drawing and it's just a drawing. I doubt that. I don't know how you get that kind of perspective to the dome. You know what I mean? I don't see how you do that without having some kind of physical object. But I could be wrong.
You simply didn't have computer generated imagery power, even the processing power back then. It just wasn't, it wasn't a thing.
No, Jurassic Park came out when?
93 and Terminator
94,
91. So, but even then, it was very, very expensive. Now,
and Abyss came out in 90. So like I don't, like that was on the cusp of getting into CGI. So I don't know.
Abyss was kind of playing with it. Terminator 2 nailed it.
Yeah, Terminator 2.
In a big way.
Judgment Day.
And then of course Jurassic Park blew the doors off because you had daylight photoreal CGI.
Yeah.
But that would have been at the same time as you were kind of producing the 93 Marvel Universe set, because I think they all had holograms.
Maybe. I don't know if the 93 Masterpiece did. 93, the puzzle
93
one.
Marvel Universe did.
I guess they did. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I'm sure you're right. I'm pretty sure you're right. Again, like if there wasn't a Surfer hologram, I don't know for sure.
This is one of those things whereby if we'd actually planned to do the hologram episode,
I think we covered pretty good. I mean, I haven't seen any.
Right.
This can be a call to action, right? We can be like, hey, if anybody knows, share some resources. We'll dive back into this.
Well, I'm gonna kind of put this out there as an open plea. We are. I'd like to think that we're growing. Listen, in fact, I know we are. At the time we're talking, we've had 4 episodes drop, and I can see that we're getting some traction and people are listening and people are digging it. The ones that we're hearing from, the ones that aren't digging it, we're not hearing from. So thank you for that.
I'm happy about that.
I'd like to think that someone listening knows someone still who may have been in production then or now,
or who used to work there. Yeah, I mean, anybody.
Come talk to us,
please. Seriously, we'd be really happy to hear that.
We'd love to just get that, because we want to start talking to more people like Dave DeVries.
Dave.
And we've got a couple of other cracking creator guests lined up, but we've got some collectors that have said they're going to come on. We've got some, we want to talk to people in the production. So Upper Deck, come and have a chat. Tell us about EPACs. The guys at Rittenhouse. Come and have a chat. Tell us about how you put together the Rittenhouse years as and I'm starting less than a decade ago, and I'm starting to wistfully think back to it with nostalgia. Mainly because it's about 10 years since Spider-Man Archives.
Oh man, I love those archive sets so much, man. That Fantastic Four, the Spider-Man, the X-Men. Anytime I see a sketch come up on eBay that has X-Men Archive, Spider-Man Archive, or Fantastic Four, I'm just that much more interested in it. Yeah. I like them so much. They're so, and the art is so different. I don't know. I'm just reminiscing, but I love those sketch cards a lot.
Yeah, Spider-Man Archives. I think I've probably got about 30 to 40 Black Hats.
Oh, you would? That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one where I threw off all my clothes and ran into that ocean.
Yeah. Well, I was doing an artist master list of surfers for Fantastic Four Archive. At one point, I had 12. And then I started selling, and I only kept 2, just because I was like, I'm not going to do the whole artist set, because at that point I was collecting surfers that I wasn't really into, but it was a different artist and I collected it. And I was kind of like, I don't know, man. I kind of like things. I have expensive taste. I really have to pick and choose what I'm going to do here. So, I jumped that ship, but I'm definitely excited to see someone pull that off. I think I know someone who's going to pull that off. So that'd be cool.
I remember someone back on the Scoundrel forum was going for a similar thing with, if it wasn't Spider-Man Archives, it was one of the other sets, and they were going for I don't think it was as crazy as one of every character by one of every artist, because I don't think every artist did every character.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah, but I have a feeling, in fact, I'm absolutely certain, because I've seen someone do it on Premiere, where they went for every character that was in the base set, but a sketch card version of it.
I've seen that image. That was a really cool set that person did. I wish I remembered their name. No, they were great though. They had it framed and everything, and it looks solid. Yeah, they did a great job. Good sketches too. I mean, they had good taste. They picked really nice cards. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
but that's the fun thing about the hobby, especially now when master sets are pretty much
impossible.
Is but you can do that. You can say, okay, I'm going to go for that, or
Yeah.
I'm going to do this.
You kind of have to be a little more creative.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes it fun, because it makes it feel like you're actually contributing to the hobby. Because when someone makes that frame and they did, like that person who did all that, every collector knows who that is, because they're like, all right, very cool. I know someone, a good friend of ours on the channel. I don't want to mention his name in case he's still hunting, but he's very close to getting a full plate set from 2018. So a plate of every card.
Wow.
A printing plate. Yeah, so he's close. Like he's like 3 cards short of nailing it. And then we know Justin, who did the autograph set for 16, and I'm sure I think there's another person who did something similar, but yeah, it's very cool. Very cool what people come up with. Very exciting.
I know we've talked before about the high-end collectors.
Yes,
the high rollers table.
Yeah, I don't mean to overlap. Yeah.
So hopefully we'll pull that off. More about that when that idea comes.
Yeah, when we get there. Yeah.
Before I get on to the main topic of conversation this evening, I wanted to quickly talk about something that happened with EPACs this week with me. As you know, from our second episode, Marvel Weekly is still happening.
Yeah.
And we are now, I think week 10 just happened at the time of recording. The second cycle was Wolverine, which we mentioned. The third cycle is Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
And the 4-week cycle of the characters. So Captain America will be week 11 and 12, then it'll be another character for week 13 through 16. With each 4-week cycle, you get a negative variant card, 50 of those, scattered across the 4 times 499 packs.
Yeah.
So this week, I went in and Lordy knows, because I can't afford it. I bought 8 packs, partly because I had a trade. I promised someone I was trading with that I'd cover them for 2 weeks as my part of the trade. So they got they got the base card and the 2 CC cards for that.
That's a good trade. That's a good idea.
It's a pretty, because if you're not there at 5 p.m.
No, it's true. It's nice to have someone cover you.
Pacifics, 5 p.m. UK. But if you're not there at your computer, so if you're on vacation, as this fellow was, anyone help me out? I said, yeah, sure, I will. And as it happens, he had something I wanted, a Black Cat card that's been mailed to you that you have. Black Cat being Flair Ultra Spider-Man, the red one.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah,
that's pretty. It's really nice.
So I hook him up. Anyway, I bought 8 packs. So there's 499 packs a week. Okay, so let's say 500 for sake of argument. Okay, so there's 2,000 packs across a 4-week period, and there's 50 of these negative cards. Okay,
wow.
So the odds, you can kind of get an idea of the odds. I'm useless at maths in my head. And I'm buying 8 packs. So the odds that I'm going to pull one are pretty slim. Third pack in, I pull a negative Captain America.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. 7th pack, I pull a second negative Captain
That's
America.
insane. That's insane.
And I was like, oh my goodness. But the interesting thing is, as we mentioned before with Marvel Weekly, there are 2 cards a pack. On the packs where I got the negative variant, it was a 3 card pack.
Oh wow.
So
I didn't know.
I mean,
Oh,
I know
that's
it's a difficult
weird.
pack. Yeah, so you got the 2, and then you think, oh, it's done. On to the next one, and then all of a sudden it
The
popped up.
negative popped up.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Fascinating.
and I saw that happen twice, and I think I might screen cap the second time. A couple of other interesting functionality things I noticed with e-packs this week, just because I'm kind of, I'm about 3-4 months in of really getting into it as a
Yeah.
platform.
Yeah. You've been hitting hard, yeah.
Trade on. Yeah, just a tad.
I mean, that's good. One of us should. That way we know it.
Yeah, I do it for the good of the community.
Yeah, I see it. No,
Yeah,
man,
I do it for the
Saint
listeners.
Ian is what I've heard.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what's happening.
I'm falling on someone's sword. It's not mine. The first thing is, I was doing a trade with a fella a couple of hours afterwards, and he and I were talking, having a really. This is unusual for e-packs because e-packs goes one of several ways. You can either send a trade request to someone who's got a card that you want,
Mhm.
and you never hear from them at all. They just don't respond. Okay, so that's what I call being iced. Okay?
Yeah. Yep.
Then you have those that come back and say, that maybe haven't the best interpersonal skills, or at least it's very easy to misconstrue what someone types over the internet.
That's so true. So true. Yeah.
So one of those options, I'm kind of being generous here. And the third option is you'll end up, and you may or may not trade with them, but you might end up having a really cordial back and forth and saying, I really respect that you're coming back, all this sort of stuff, and I tend to be overly polite, partly because I'm English and partly because why not? It doesn't.
See, I'm the same way. Yeah, I'm not the best example of an American because I am very, very polite.
Okay.
But
I shall dub thee Sir Rad.
Sir Rad. Well, I actually met, I met Ben through the e-pack. Ben Lee or Ben.
Oh yes.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Yeah, he has tons of cards. And I was telling him about the group, and I actually purchased a card from him or traded a card to him in e-packs, and we had a nice conversation. He came to the group. Yeah, that's how.
To the group.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
how.
Got Spider Gwen Red Spectrum. So it's your fault.
No. You misunderstood. No, I was talking about someone else. Shit, I forgot that was the guy.
I jest.
Damn.
No, it's cool on the gang. It's cool on the gang.
This is
one of one cards. There's
cutthroat cards. Oh shit. I forgot that was him. Damn.
it matters not. Matters not. Anyway, so I was having this back and forth with this guy, and he had a 5-figure volume of cards on there and a lot of feedback score. Because one of the things with e-packs is you get a feedback score every time you do a trade.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like eBay in that way.
Yeah.
And for some reason they ask you to rate it out of 5, but I never quite understand that because either the trade happened or the trade didn't happen. But I guess they've mirrored it off eBay, and also it might have been you might have got there in the end, but it might have been a bit of a pain to get there. I don't know. Anyway, but this fella, we had a nice backwards and forwards, and he was saying, I said, yeah, I'll agree to that trade, but you got a couple of black cats. What else can you throw in? And he's like, well, I value this at that and that at that. And we had a very cordial back and forth, and he said he was looking forward to trading again. So that that was just really nice. But
that's awesome.
While he was, it's a really long way of getting to the. I'm perfect as a podcast person because I'm so verbose. It's ridiculous.
People like the longer episodes. This is just how they're going to go.
Cue everyone pausing the episode. And they're back having looked up what verbose means. Anyway, so he says insulting our entire audience.
I'm looking it up, so it makes sense.
So that's fine. While he was editing the trade, I got a message on screen when I went back to the trade that said the trade cannot be edited at this time because Oh no, I'm remembering it wrong. Anyway, I thought it was interesting that EPAX froze the trade while one of the two parties was editing it.
Fascinating.
So the other party couldn't edit it at the same time. So it kind of put it in a hold. So I'm just fascinated by the technology of the system, I think, because it
Well,
is
I know the
very
EPAC
complicated
system.
to do.
Yeah, I know the EPAC system and the warehouse is based out of North Carolina, where I'm at.
Mm,
I know that because I've seen the job listings and I know it's here.
mm.
I think I know the town it's in too. And I'm assuming
Oh,
what
you
happened.
can see that online. I saw the address on the website.
Yep.
It's pretty open. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not a secret. So I think that's because of the way they log how transfers work.
Mm,
So if someone's editing a trade, they log where the card was at the time.
yep.
And then you have the next person who edits, and then that's another entry in that log. So I'm
Yep.
sure it has to be kind of like a bullet point type of
Yeah.
recording of some sort.
Yeah. Well, I've noticed that every trade has a trade ID, and this
Mm.
kind of ties in with I work I work for a marketing agency, but my background is ticketing. There's a lot of
Oh,
talking
cool.
about blockchain, which is um, effectively what cryptocurrency is based on. So you have like a digital ledger that's written to, and you can see the audit trail of every transaction. You can see where it's gone, where it's been. So it's like a digital audit trail thing.
Oh, wow.
So I can only imagine they've got kind of a similar thing going on in that probably behind the scenes, every single card in the system will have a unique hash or a unique thing, even though there might be 2,000 of a base card. Each one of them on the system will have a unique digital ID.
Hmm.
But what I would love to do is just to see a map of where that card goes through the system before it exits the system.
Yeah.
Because as I mentioned before, it is a closed loop system. So everything will be in that ecosystem until it leaves it. And once it leaves it, it can't go back into it.
Right.
You
And
know,
these
so it's
cards are
something
numbered.
yeah.
So especially the premium sets, right? Like you have cards that
Yeah.
have a very specific serial number, so you can't
Mm.
really mess that up, you know? If it's just a printed card and there's like 100 of those printed cards, but they're unmarked and they're all marked the same way, it wouldn't matter. But yeah,
Yeah.
the system has to be pretty sophisticated in order to
So
pull
I
that
can't
off.
imagine someone just goes to a drawer that's got all of base card 82 for Marvel Annual and pulls one out and just chucks it in the box to post. No, they'll be going around. They'll have some sort of tracking system within the
They
warehouse.
have to. No,
Exactly
they have to have multiple report stations too, right?
yeah.
Kind of like how when you grade cards, right? How they
Yes.
go through multiple facilities
Yep.
till
Yep.
they
There'll be some
finish out
sort of
the
tracking
process,
or NFC
right?
beat around the place. So it's yeah. I'll find it interesting. And the other thing I spotted was when the system was really busy with an EPAX release, where I opened my packs and went to my checklist and looked at my collection, and it showed me the number of cards and it showed me the number of rows for each card because it's a base card and two CCs. So there's 3 rows,
Hmm.
but it said something like TBD item not released yet because it hadn't quite caught up with itself.
Oh,
So even though
fascinating.
it had gone on sale, it hadn't. I mean, we're talking maybe 90 seconds after on sale. So there's clearly there will be multiple tables within that database and multiple parts of the system that I thought that was interesting, and I refreshed and it gone.
Hmm.
So I thought it was just anyway. It's
No, I mean,
probably not very interesting listening for the people at home, but it's just the more I scratch away at it, the more fascinating I find it, and I'm not aware that
this is a weird
relative
hobby.
to some people. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but this is a weird hobby. I do think people would find it interesting because, excuse me, I think people would find this interesting because this hobby's not really transparent, right? There's quite a lot of behind the doors type of thing. There's not a lot of open communication between, Upper Deck or whoever's releasing the cards to the community. There's really is a separation of the two,
I think there's an
for the most part.
yeah, let's just politely say that I think there are opportunities to promote and augment that relationship with the people buying the products that are probably not utilized to the fullest extent.
Yeah, I mean, definitely polite
Uh,
is good. But just, I think it's because of that people are more interested, because we do collect these things, and this is very much part of our enjoyment and entertainment. So it's more interesting to us, the little details.
Absolutely. All about the little details. So there's a number of segues I could do here, because I am the king of the segue.
This is true.
At least within this podcast. Although you're getting good.
I'm trying. I'm
trying.
learning from the best.
Yeah,
That's
yes.
what I'm learning.
My young Padawan. So earlier on, this is like a segue. Half an hour after we talked about it,
We got this.
talked about holoblasts, and of course, as we speak, Marvel Flair 2019, which is another one of the retro releases after Flair Ultra Spider-Man in 2017, and Flair Ultra X-Men in 2018.
Ooh.
And this year we've got Flair, of course. And you have to wonder if 2016 Marvel Masterpieces was actually the start of that.
Yeah.
If you think about it, and I think that went so well, they thought, oh, let's get another one out.
Yeah, 100%. No, they knew. I mean, I don't know. I don't know for sure, but I definitely think that they saw the success of 16. They saw how many people were actually fans of Jusko and actually remembered his name, and how much attention he attracted with the set. People got very excited, and it started vanishing, and people lost their minds and purchased everything. And I think Upper Deck was like, very intelligently, was like, okay, well, this is it. This is the era where we bring back the mass consumption of the 90s cards to the premium high-end collectors who are now in their late 20s, 30s, people who are wanting to come back into the card hobby. Let's give them a reason to, by making it a premium set. And let's give them everything that they could possibly want. So I highly doubt this is the end. I see Flair. Yeah, I see things coming, which would be a cool episode in the future, right? What are our predictions for future sets, which we can do as well. But in terms of talking about Flair, there's some amazing artists in this set.
Oh, there really are. I mean, base and sketch. So let's just
take a look at the checklist.
Breakdown. Right, I have the checklist here. Okay.
This could be a segment for us. You know what I mean? We're like, now let's look at the checklist, and there's like a jingle.
Look at the checklist.
I don't know.
Seriously,
just throwing it out there.
Jingle skills in here. So that's what we need. So the checklist spreadsheet from the website that I looked on, that I can't remember the name of. Which website is this? It is cardboardconnection.com.
Cardboard Connection.
Cardboardconnection.com, and there's a checklist that you can download as an Excel spreadsheet. And this checklist has, brace yourself, 1,083 rows. So that's one for 1,083 cards, okay? Except when I take off each of the rows for the sketch card artists.
Right.
So there are 105 artists, and they're all listed on rows as well. Okay. So first of all, let's just pause. 105 sketch card artists. That's cool. And as I noticed, looking through it, Simone Bianchi is one of them.
Get the out of here! Are you serious?
I know.
He's a sketch artist.
He's a sketch card artist on this set. There's no numbers attributed to any of this.
I miss it when they used to do the numbers.
Yeah. So when you take that off, there's 978 cards. Okay. Now this is obviously on the physical release.
Oh, fascinating.
I suspect that there will be more when we go to e-packs, because there'll be achievements and there'll probably be tiers that are e-pack exclusives. So, which is a good idea. And the reason they do that, obviously, is if you bought the physical, you'll then go back and buy on e-packs.
Yeah, of course.
So, so there's something new for that pot. So I'm kind of giddy with joy, because there's at least one original Black Cat in here.
Oh, really?
5, yeah. by the artist Peach Monoko, I believe.
Oh, I
her name
love
is.
her. I'm just going to be honest. I've spoken to this artist. She's
Ah.
fantastic. I showed you. I think I showed you or
Yes,
told you she
she's
did a
already
black cat.
sharing. Yeah, she's
Yeah,
sharing my artwork already.
she's sharing the artwork already. She
Has
is.
released. She's doing one a day.
She's phenomenal. I don't know. I
Yeah.
think she's phenomenal. Her and EM Geist are the ones that are really got my attention right now. I'm excited to see the rest, but those are the two
Now,
I've been
you
seeing a
mentioned
lot
that
of.
artist to me the other week, and I'm not familiar with that artist.
So you know the Wolverine on our Facebook header?
Okay.
That's him.
Oh, do you mean Eric Geist or Gist? Because he's listed on there. There's an artist here listed as Eric with a K at the end, Gist or Geist, Gist.
That has to be the same one.
Has to be. Has to
Yeah,
be. Because
I think his Facebook is EM.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's why I saw it like that.
So we're talking base card artists here. So looking through this list of base card artists.
Oh, it's broken down into a tier system?
Yeah, it is indeed. So let's back it up slightly.
Yeah, sorry. Let's go.
You don't see the artists on the base cards until you go to the autograph section because every artist has signed a certain number of their base cards.
Perfect.
So that's why that's listed. So we've got what's listed as the base set, which runs cards 1 through 90. Okay. And then cards 91 to 100, it lists as base set Flairium tier 1. So these must be the Flairium tiers that we've heard about. There are some preview pictures of these cards out already as we record. By the time this podcast drops, the set will actually have been released, but we'll probably use we'll probably put samples of the production art that Upper Deck put out in their post because they're just nicer framed images unless we see something really utterly gorgeous. So I expect that's what will go on the tasting notes for this episode. Then you've got another 10 cards, Flairium tier 2, Flairium tier 3 is the next 10, and so on, tiers 4, 5, and 6. So it goes up to 150. So cards 91 through 150 are Flairium cards, and they're tiered. And they are different rarities. So tier 6 is 1 in 80 packs.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is similar to the Marvel Masterpieces tier system.
Yeah, people will be hunting for the tier 6.
Now it says 1 in 80 packs, but that doesn't tell me how many cards there are. It just tells me the odds of pulling.
Oh, so if you scroll down, well, I can. Yeah, so I can see. You want me to tell you how many of the cards are in the tier 6? Well, you can see that, right? Is that what you're asking?
Well, I'm on the checklist. Are you on the?
Yeah, I'm looking at the checklists. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So are you on the checklist spreadsheet or the checklist webpage?
I'm actually on Beckett.com because I couldn't find the checklist.
Oh, brilliant! I love that we're on completely different information.
So sorry, I couldn't find the other one.
That's quite all right. Brilliant. This is not rehearsed. This is not a drill, people. This is not a drill. So now I took the link that Alan Michael posted. Hi, Alan, otherwise known as Wolverine.
Yeah.
Good evening, Alan.
Hey, buddy. All right, I'm looking at the same checklist now. I'm being better.
On this, it doesn't tell me the numbers, but if you've got information from somewhere else, just tells me the odds. So tier 6 is 1 in 80 packs, tier 5 is 1 in 18, tier 4 is 1 in 9, 1 in 6, 1 in 4, and so on, and 1 in 2.5 packs for the Flairium tier 1. Base set is 4 per pack. So it's they don't appear on the surface of things to be absolutely shocking odds. And in Marvel Flair packs, I actually looked at it, and the price it's a lot more. I'm going to use the term loosely, reasonably priced. It's certainly not as tough as Premiere or Masterpieces or Flair Ultra X-Men in terms of the pricing. But there are 6 cards per pack, 9 packs per box, 16 boxes per case. So you've actually got 6 cards per pack, 9 packs per box. Isn't as much as the other ones. I think Flair Ultra X-Men, you had 12 packs per box. But you do get more boxes in a case. You get 16 boxes. I think it was 12 on Masterpieces, and I think it was 12 on Flair Ultra X-Men. But in each box, you get 9 Flareum cards, 2 totemic teams, 1 each of matter or antimatter, pieces of Flair, or through the ages. And then there are other inserts called singularity inserts, stained glass inserts, power blast inserts, and lucky 8s. You also have in every case hit, so these are really quite scarce. In every case, you'll have 3 buyback cards. So they're doing the buyback again from either 94 or 95 Flair Marvel Annual. And those original Flair sets were big.
Mm-hmm.
They were 150 cards. So anyone chasing buybacks for this, you're going to be buying a lot of product. So those buybacks are going to be hunted. They're going to be pretty difficult to get. I know already that I want the Black Cat buyback because there was a single Black Cat in both 94 and 95. Beyond that, you can keep the rest. Much as I like them, but those are the ones.
Oh man, there's a buyback surfer.
Yep, I was wondering when you were going to spot that. So whilst Norrin picks himself off of the floor,
Oh man,
we have artists on this. We have Megan Hetrick. Hello, Megan.
hey Megan.
Better. She's great. I love her. I love
Dude,
her stuff.
her art is the best. I'm absolutely I'm infatuated with her artwork. I love it.
We have the other Dave in the Dave off, Dave Dorman. Good evening, sir. We have Ariel Olivetti. We have Tom Fleming.
Tom.
Dave DeVries's mate.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening, Tom. We have a lot of artists here I've not heard of. Doesn't mean to say that they are unworthy of mention. I just haven't heard of them myself personally. You may have.
I'm really excited to see other artists too, man. This is going to be really fun.
But I think that's really interesting. You've got German Ponce. You have Daniel Horn. You have Nicholas Gregory, Catherine Steele, J.P. Targate, Target with an E on the end, so I'm assuming a different pronunciation. Crystal Fay, Claudio Pozas. This young fella, I've had some contact with, and he's a lovely guy, but I can't pronounce his name. Is it Cacao?
Oh yeah, I don't know how to pronounce his name either.
I don't know. We apologise to any of you guys who may be listening if we are mangling your names.
Yeah, I got
the podcast and tell us how to pronounce it properly.
Please, we'd love to do that. That'd be awesome.
We have Bob Eggleton. We have Christopher Mangum, who I have heard of. I can't remember where. Mike Sass, John Stanko. John Stanko's done some cracking work.
I feel like I know who that is.
Yeah. No, he was on some 90s stuff. He's got some pedigree.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, good artwork. Pascal Millet, Gilberto Martimiano. Some fantastic names. Ray Largo. Ray. Oh, we love Ray.
Ray's the best, man.
Dave DeVries, as we know, of course. Bill Sienkiewicz. Good evening, Bill. Loads of people. I'm not going to read them all out because people can go and read them themselves.
Yeah.
But I've kind of covered it, to be fair, because they then kind of repeat as we go down. So yeah, some cracking talent on this set in terms of the base card art, and you can see all of these artists are now starting to drip feed it in, as Dave said they've been asked to do by Upper Deck, just to drip it in. Then you have the each one of those has artist autograph parallels, which is where that comes from. So each one of the 150 cards in the set, so the 1 to 90 and then the Flareum tiers 1 to 6, there are 30 of each that are signed, which is pretty good.
That is pretty good.
So if you're going for one of the the tier 6 Flareum, you might. Yeah. I don't know how many Flareum tier 6 there are, but it can't be too much of a stretch to think you've actually got 30 extra cards in there. Just 30 extra of them have to be signed. and they're randomly inserted, which is interesting. Then you have the buybacks, which is a lot of scrolling. So that's that's 300 cards right there.
Yeah. By
And
the
then you
way,
have,
just so people know, if you're looking for a particular character on these massive lists, you can just Command F or go to the Find feature in your browser
yes,
and just
yes,
type the character's name, just so people know, just in
yeah,
case
yeah,
you don't know.
yeah, yeah. You can do that in Excel as well. Control F.
Yes,
Fine.
Control F. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's the same functionality. Then you've got antimatter cards, and I did look at some pictures of these. For the life of me, can I find it right
Antimatter.
now?
I see the singularity,
Yeah, exactly.
stained
I'm
glass.
scrolling through the pictures now. Oh my goodness, I've just put up a picture of the Ghost Rider
I know.
card.
These are nice, man.
They are they're just beautiful cards. Listen, we'll pop some pictures up. The stained glass are interesting. The stained glass cards.
Yeah, I'm excited to see
Uh,
how see-through those are and how
yeah,
thick
I'm
they
not
are.
sure. I imagine they'll be plexiglass of some kind.
They have to be. Well, yeah, they are. There's the plexiglass
Yeah,
cards made up an appearance via stained glass.
I'm with you. Then you've got singularity cards. Pieces of Flair. Now these are thicker. I'll come on to the thickness of these in a moment, but I know these are thicker. And these, they're either reproduction or original. They're the corner boxes in certain issues. So when you look down the checklist, it actually tells you what issues they're from.
Oh.
Let me just get to that right now. So Pieces of Flair. So Pieces of Flair 1, for example, card POF 1, is the Comic Corner patch. So it is a manufactured patch, but it's based on the top left-hand corner of a Marvel comic from the Avengers 174. And then
Oh, sick.
AOF2 is Cloak and Dagger 5, Tales to Astonish 56, Peter Parker Spec Spider-Man 90. So they're going down through. It seems to be quite a random list, but I imagine they've chosen it for how it visually looks.
Mm-hmm.
Because those corner boxes are one of the most innovative and brilliant things about those older Marvel comics.
I love it so much. I really do. They're beautiful. Well, Joe Gisco even did that repainting of those
yes
covers. Oh man,
Marvel.
I wish I had the money to buy the Surfer one, but they're all just so pretty. They're all so well done.
Absolutely beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. So the Pieces of Flair, there's 37 of them, but then they go to short print, and then
So I have a
short print,
question about short
SSP.
prints. I don't understand them. What does it mean by what do they look different? Are they numbered?
No, there's fewer of them. It's a shorter print run. That's literally.
I see. Okay, so like Amazing Spider-Man Annual Volume 1, number 21 is the short print, is a super short print,
Yes.
one out of 120 packs.
Exactly. Yeah.
So basically, they're tiers for the insert.
Yes.
Got
Exactly.
it. Okay.
Exactly.
Got it.
So not only the main cards tiered, the inserts are also tiered.
Jesus, man. Well, have we? What was the first set that did this?
I was looking at that actually. It was well, I've noticed it on Marvel Annual. It was Flair Ultra X-Men did it with the stacks cards. The last 5 of those. There are fewer.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I think that might have been the first one that did a shorter print tier within a chase set.
That might have been. I don't, because I can't recall any other either.
But they do it in the matter cards. So there's matter cards, there's
Very cool.
anti-matter cards, and they do super short prints of those, short prints and super short prints.
And on the stained glass too, and the singularity.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough set to put together.
It's a crazy set to put together.
Yeah, good luck, people. It looks lovely. I'm not sure how some of them are going to look. The Power Blast, of course, you've got those. The Power Blast, there's 49 of them. Cards 41 to 49 are short print, but the rest of them seem to be pretty much the same odds. And then you've got Singularity cards, and they're short print and super short print. And of course, you've got the sketch cards.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got the stained glass, and you've got stained glass photo variants.
Stained glass photo variants.
Exactly. What is a stained glass photo variant? Well, I'm sure we'll find out.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, no, that's the thing. I don't know. I'm sure we'll find
Well,
out.
you know what? I was just reading something actually. Let me find out what I was looking at here.
The
Okay,
article I'm looking at here doesn't actually show a picture of
so
one, so it shows the regular stained glass.
I just see the regular stained glass, but this is interesting that something that's red. I'm on 3 different sites looking at the checklist because I can't
Okay.
help myself. And the
Yep.
Beckett.com, they do say this about the plexiglass cards. So here we go. Plexiglass cards make an appearance via stained glass. But rather than just printing cards on clear, thick stock, the art is done in a way that emphasizes the stained glass style. So that
You have me at
seems
hello. Yeah.
right? That
Uh,
seems interesting. I wonder what they
yeah.
mean by that. I mean, it's not
Well,
plexiglass, so we're not going to have
it,
that.
it's the
Plexi, yeah.
plexiglass. Yes. Plexi. Yes. Um, it, but that's the stained glass. It's the stained glass photo variants that just intrigued me. No end.
Yeah, I don't see that
So
anywhere, but it is
yeah,
it is interesting. I
exactly.
wonder if yeah.
So what's one of those that like? Then you've got Through the Ages,
Mhm.
which are Copper Age, Bronze Age parallel, Silver Age parallel, Golden Age parallel. And looking at the Golden Age parallel, there's only 5 of those, and they are those really, really old Marvel characters from the 40s and 50s when it was true Golden Age. So you've got Namor, Captain America, Bucky Barnes, Red Skull, and Whizzer. Now, I've never heard of Whizzer.
I don't know.
So, but it must be a Golden Age character that just isn't around so much anymore. So interesting. Um, Totemic teams, which look pretty cool actually.
Hmm.
Again, short print, and then you've got Totemic teams headpiece, and they seem to be the shortest print. So again, I'm looking forward to seeing what all these cards look like. It's a big set. I'll probably I certainly won't be able to afford the physical release. Maybe when it comes to EPACs, I'll dive in and start building it that way, in the same way that I've done with Flair Ultra X-Men. Um, who knows? But it looks awesome. I'll go for a base set at the very least.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's some fantastic art. I mean, just for the artwork, forget the gimmicky, the interesting physical cards. The actual original artwork on the base cards. Thank you very much. That'll do me. I'll just quite happily sit and look at that for an evening.
No, they really look great.
They are just astonishing. Some of these images, I'm just looking through now at some of them. I mean, the Wolverine that you mentioned is actually on the pack image, and it looks astonishing.
And that
Taskmaster.
yeah. And then
Uh,
I'm looking at so if you go to gogts
oh yes,
dot
those
net,
guys. Yeah.
there's they have the promotional materials plus the
Yes.
downloaded checklists on the PDF
Yes.
and Excel versions. And
Yes.
one of the promo pictures that Upper Deck put out for this set shows the totem stack of what the totems do, how they stack on top of each other.
Oh, so they're like the stacks cards.
Yeah,
Okay.
so they stack.
Wow.
It's giving the image of an actual totem type of thing. I'm
Yeah.
going to your chat now, and I'll go ahead and drop it in there so you can see
No,
real
I'm
quick.
I'm almost on it. I'm almost on it. I'm just
Oh,
I'm
you're
just
almost on it? Okay.
yeah.
I'll just drop it anyway. I'm already here. I just dropped it anyway. But yeah, so you can actually see a picture of what the stacking looks like. So just to describe it to all the listeners out there, on the bottom of the card, there's a little cutout that each card has a specific type of cutout on the bottom, making a specific shape, and those cards specifically connect with other cards. It looks like from that image. Are you looking at that?
Yeah. And there's a little video as well, which I'm not going to play now, but
I think the video is just like a
uh,
slideshow thing. I don't know if they showed
yeah.
anything.
Yeah. Well, you say that, but
I might be wrong.
they did put out a video for oh yeah, I see what you mean. That's interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. We'll throw this up on the tasting notes, but like I said, by the time we put this out, it will actually probably be in your hand, dear listener. Wonderful. So yeah, listen, I'm looking at the box, the image of the box, and I'll probably try and buy at least one box just to get the box, because I like a lot of collectors. I like to, where I can, have a couple of wrappers that I keep, and I'll keep the box, which
Yeah.
you'll carefully unfold and flatten down, and you'll keep that in your binder with your set. A lot of collectors do that. I'm no exception.
I totally bought into that. I really like that. I did it for the 2018.
Yeah.
I really like that idea. It's a really nice idea to have the box and the pack. It's a great keepsake. I love that a lot.
I'll tell you what started me off on that is it's the 2007 Marvel Masterpieces.
Oh,
because
really?
Joe Jusco did the box art for that.
Oh, he did. That's right. It looks good too. Yeah. Well, there's a couple of boxes on eBay that are signed by him. Someone was selling that.
Oh.
Actually, I saw a listing where they had the 92, the 07, 08, and then another box or the tin from 92, all signed by Jusco.
Wow.
So that was kind of a cool little eBay listing I saw there. That I don't know if it's still there, but I saw that recently. It was pretty cool.
Well, I'm sure someone snapped it up by now.
Yeah, I'm sure.
By the fireside and stroking it. Good. So Flair, Marvel Flair, coming from Upper Deck. I think it's 3rd of July it drops.
I believe so. I don't actually know now.
So that's actually, as we record, it's next week, but as you listen to it, it's in the past. So we're time travelers, folks.
We're time travelers.
We are time travelers. I think it looks like a nice set. As I said, tough one to complete, but I think that's kind of par for the course. Now, so you've kind of got to choose your own adventure with that. What are you going to go for? What are you going to go after?
What are you interested in? Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I'll start with the Black Cats and I'll work out from there. There's bound to be Black Cat sketch cards, but the well is dry in terms of finances at the moment. So, because I'm spending it all on Marvel Weekly. So hey, what are you going to do?
Buy more Marvel Weekly.
Yes, every Monday at 5 p.m. UK.
I mean, that's a really smart set to get into, I think.
It is. I'm enjoying it. I mean, the one thing I didn't say, it was probably good wrap up actually for the episode, is I did straight away trade my spare Captain America negative for this because I hadn't previously pulled the first 4-week negative, which was Spider-Man, or the second one, which was Wolverine. So straight away, I got a trade offer for the Wolverine one.
That's awesome.
Now, to have a clean run so far is the Spider-Man negative from the first 4 weeks.
I'm so excited to see those cards physically.
Exactly. And again, yet I still haven't seen any physically. I don't know anyone who's got them. Which reminds me, talking about Flair as we're about to wrap up, and I'm just going to drop this in. So I mentioned our friend Alan, Wolverine Alan.
Yeah, Alan's the best, man. He's awesome.
He's a dude. He's a nice guy. He posted, which I thought was really interesting, that he'd spotted on that checklist that I have in front of me that the cards are different thicknesses, as in all different thicknesses. So the original, they're measured in point, PT. Okay, so the original Flair cards from the 90s were thick for the time, and they were 30-point cards. Okay, but they were, if you remember at the time, they were the thickest cards I think.
Well, they came in that really cool pack that opened up like it looked like a box. It wasn't like a playing card pack. Yeah, it was a playing card pack. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So the buybacks, which is the originals, are 30-point, but the base cards for this new 2019 set are 24-point. So they are thinner than the originals from the 90s. Okay. Then you've got all other inserts are the same as the base cards at 24-point, except for the stained glass, which is 60-point. So they're quite thick. And the pieces of Flair, which are the comic corner covers, the fabric patches, are 80-point. So that 80-point will be pretty much the same. In fact, I think just a fraction thinner than Marvel Masterpieces 2018 and Flair Ultra X-Men. So good news for your binders.
Yeah.
The cards won't be as thick.
Yeah. It is good news.
I find it interesting. So on the surface, it looks like a slightly slimmer set than Flair Ultra X-Men, but I have a feeling that the set will expand when it goes to e-packs.
That's interesting. I was just looking for the post.
Yeah.
Oh
So
man,
who knows how thick the Marvel Weeklies will be? That's the thing.
I wonder if the comic corner
Pieces of
patch
the Flair.
cards are the same size as the Premier comic corner patches.
Quite likely, I would have thought.
I would imagine, yeah.
Well, you would assume the same production line, same
Wow.
printing facility. That creates
Also, they're doing like 10 cards in those tier sets instead of a solid 9. I wonder why they keep doing 10.
Well, I was thinking it was a relatively recent thing, but in my experiences that I documented on a previous episode with Flair Ultra X-Men in the 90s, I actually think they got it from there because some of the subsets in Flair Ultra X-Men in the 90s had 10 cards in, and I'm actually I have here that I'm holding up to you, but the people at home can't see it. My Flair annual binder, which is pretty beaten up actually. I got it as a placeholder one, but it's loved. I mean, look at the spine.
That's a nice one.
This thing's traveled, but it's the 95 Flair annual binder, and I've got the complete 95 base set. I'm just kind of nibbling away. The Flair 95 set isn't actually that massive. Once you get past the 150 card base, you've got 6 chromiums, you've got 12 power blasts. So when you add these together, it's 12 plus 6, so you're at 2 9-card pages. Then you've got Holoblast to 12, and then you've got 3 Duo Blast. So actually, sorry, apologies. I'm reading this completely wrong. Power Blast is actually 24. It's just got 2 columns here. So I read down 1 column but not the other. Power Blast is 24. Then Chromium is 12. Holoblast is 12, and then Duoblast is 3. So that's the 95 Flair set.
Yeah.
So those are the days when all those cards would fit on 2 sides of a 1-card checklist.
Love that.
Which you can't do anymore, which is probably why there isn't a checklist card.
I've tried to do those.
Yeah, I know you did, right? You took 4 of those to get through the 2018 set. But the one thing that has just fallen out, which I'm going to hold up for you, is the flattened original packets.
That's awesome.
Little cardboard boxes.
I love the design of those. I feel like they're so solid.
It's really, and they really went out of their way to produce I kind of feel like they went out of their way to produce a physically just a different set,
just a difference. It really is. When I remember when Flair came out, when I saw Flair for the first time when I was a kid, man, it was special. It looked like a premium product.
Yeah.
Just on packaging alone, even the graphics on the cards, even the design felt very premium. But the package, that was very premium just by a glance.
The other really interesting thing, and I think there's about 3 or 4 90s sets that did this. This binder, I've used new Ultra Pro Platinum pages when I've sleeved this set. Okay, because it came in came in some, I can't remember what sleeves they were, but they weren't Ultra Pro, and they stopped. Some of the older ones go cloudy after a while.
Yeah.
So I swapped it out and I put them in new Ultra Pro Platinum. I am drinking during this podcast, by the way, because it is Friday night. So, but these binders came with branded pages. I don't know if you know this.
I don't.
So I have here, So, and I've kept them, but I'm not using them because they have actually clouded over time. So you have here a 95 Flair annual. Just about see it there because it's a see-through thing. If I put my hand behind it.
Oh, I think I can.
Little logo just there.
Wow.
And it's just on the spine where the pockets go in. And listen, I mean, I don't want to store the set in this now because you can feel it's wrinkling over time and it's kind of clouding a bit, so that the plastic is doing whatever it does.
So listeners know there's something I do with my Ultra Pro Premium, the 9 pages, the holders that you're talking about.
Yes.
What I actually started doing was, and this works out really well because I don't like the cloudy stuff either. That stuff drives me crazy. And I also don't like how the plastic gets scratched as you flip through the pages either. Like, I feel like there's like scratching that happens. So people who are like me, who need them clear all the time, and you're obsessed like I am, what I actually did was I bought a packet of tracing paper.
Ah.
And I got the tracing paper, punched 3 holes in it, with a hole puncher or whatever, 8 by 10, cut them
Yep.
down,
Yep.
placed them in between all my pages.
Nice.
And it's this really nice looking stack of just how all the plastic's not sitting on each other anymore. They're not scratching. They seem to be working really well. I don't know. It keeps everything still clear.
Archival separation.
Archival separation, the cheap way.
I don't know if that's actually a term, but it is now. So that's
Done.
what we're going to
coined. Right here, guys. On this podcast.
Good.
Coined.
All right. Thank you for listening, everybody. I am literally going to pour myself another glass.
Very happy. It's looking good, brother.
Friday evening. I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to settle down and watch an episode of Preacher, which I'm thoroughly.
Ooh, I didn't know you were watching Preacher. That's good.
Yeah. I loved the comics, and I'm almost at the end of series 1.
I like Preacher. I always liked Preacher.
I'm late to it. Yeah, I've come late to it.
I just finished Chernobyl, which was tough.
Oh, that was good.
It's fantastic. I mean, it's an amazing show.
Tough watch.
Yeah, tough watch, but the show to watch. Yeah.
So this is the new segment we like to do now on the Marvel Card Collectors podcast.
We've moved over.
What we're watching on TV.
Oh man! All right, guys.
Thank you very much for listening again. Thanks for your support. We have a Facebook page, which I'm sure you'll all know about now. But for those not on Facebook, you can actually go to this page and look at it, and you get stuff from it, which is absolutely wonderful. And you don't have to be a Facebook member to actually sort of see what's there. It is Facebook. It is. I've lost it. Where is it? Here we go. It is facebook.com/MCC pod. As always, you can find us on the 2 groups on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. All of the gorgeous stuff that you'll hear at the end of the episode. We're on iTunes. Please leave us reviews and ratings. That'd be lovely. Other podcast platforms are available.
Ooh.
Wonderful stuff. Lots more to come, folks. Thanks very much for your support. Thanks for your enthusiasm. Thank you to all of the creators that are getting involved and helping us out.
Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Until next time,
enjoy collecting.
Gorgeous. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Marvel Card Collectors podcast. You can subscribe via our home on anchor.fm/MCCP. Leave us a message via that link with questions, comments, or just to say hi, and we may even play on the show. We'll also be on iTunes and most other main podcast platforms soon. On Facebook, you can find Marvel Card Collectors Worldwide by searching MCCW, and Marvel Masterpieces Collectors by searching MMC. On Instagram, find us at MMCollectors and at SketchCardHive. The great music we use is called Rocket Power by Kevin MacLeod. Thanks to the collectors, artists, and creators who support the Marvel Cards Fan Collective. We'll see you next time, and remember, it's a small hobby, but a fun one. Make mine Marvel, and enjoy collecting.
Happy collecting.
It's enjoy collecting.
I'm never going to do this. I'm editing this out. I'm too embarrassed. I'm too embarrassed.
That's quite all right. Okay.
So enjoy collecting.
No, I'm talking over you.
Okay, let's do it one more time. All right.
Third time's a charm.
Enjoy collecting.
Lovely.
I'm never going to remember that thing. I'm putting it on my computer. I'm getting it posted. I'm getting it posted in front of you, and I'm putting it on my computer because I'm tired of embarrassing myself. Where's my Post-its?